All right, let's talk about something you hear all the time: project management. You might think it's all about building skyscrapers or coding new software, but it's so much more than that. Turns out it's the fundamental skill for turning pretty much any idea into a reality. So let's dive right in. So think about this for a second. On one hand, you've got this massive, unbelievably complex task of launching a rocket into space. And on the other, you have the deeply personal, detailed process of planning a wedding. I mean, they seem like they're on totally different planets, right? But believe it or not, they actually share the same core DNA. And there it is. That's the secret sauce. They're both projects. Whether it's something huge and technical or something personal and creative, the basic principles of getting something done from a defined start to a defined finish, well, they apply to pretty much everything. And that's the big idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, so first things first. To really get project management, we have to be on the same page about what a project even is. We're going to dissect the idea, look at its anatomy, and figure out the key ingredients that all projects have in common. Here's the official definition. And seriously, every single word here matters. A project is temporary. It doesn't go on forever. It's in a unique context, meaning it's not just routine work, and it has a purpose. It's meant to create value. Let's start by digging into that first part, the fact that it's temporary. So, temporary is crucial. It means every project has a finish line. But here's the really interesting part. That finish line isn't always a victory celebration. Of course, a project can end because you nailed it. You achieved all your goals. Awesome. But it can also end because the team realizes, hey, this is actually impossible, or the money runs out, or maybe the world changes, and the reason you started the project in the first place just isn't there anymore. It's this limited lifespan that really sets it apart from other types of work. All right, now that we've established that projects have a clear end date, let's move on. One of the best ways to understand what something is to get a really clear picture of what it isn't. And the thing projects get confused with all the time is just, daily operations. And this example just nails the difference, doesn't it? Building a brand new website from scratch, that's a project. It has a kickoff meeting, a whole bunch of unique design and coding tasks, and a launch date. Once it's live, it's done. But keeping that site running, the daily security checks, updating content, fixing little bugs, that's operations. It's the ongoing, repetitive work you do to keep things humming along. And that distinction between a one-time project and ongoing operations is super important because it brings us to the real why behind any project. Projects aren't just about completing a to-do list. They are the actual engines that drive change and create new value. You can think of every single project as a journey. You start at point A, the current state. This is how things are right now. The project itself, all the work you do, that's the journey. And the destination is point B, the future state, a new and hopefully better reality. So a project is literally the bridge that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. And why are we building this bridge? Why go on this journey at all? It all comes down to one word: value. That is the ultimate goal, the whole reason for the trip. But what do we actually mean by value? Value can be a kind of slippery word, right? It's not always about cold, hard cash. The official definition is basically the good stuff you get minus what you put in. For a business, sure, that might be profit. But for a customer, value could be a product that saves them time. For a nonprofit, value might be a positive impact on the community. It all depends on who you ask. Value is really in the eye of the stakeholder. Okay, so we've got a handle on what a single project is and what it's for. Now it's time to pull back the camera, to zoom out, because projects don't just exist in a bubble. They're part of a much bigger strategic picture, and if you want to understand how big goals get accomplished, you have to understand this hierarchy. So the next level up from a single project is a program, and the analogy here is just perfect. If your project is building one single house, the program is building the entire housing development. You manage all those individual house building projects together so you can share resources, sync up schedules, and get benefits you just couldn't get if you built them one at a time, completely separate from each other. And if we zoom out one more level, we get to the portfolio. Sticking with our real estate analogy, the portfolio isn't just that one housing development. It's the entire company's investment strategy. It includes the housing program, sure, but also projects to build office buildings, maybe even the ongoing operations of acquiring new land. It's the whole shebang, all managed together to hit the company's biggest, most important strategic goals. This chart really lays it all out, nice and clean. A project is a success if it delivers what it promised, on time and on budget. Simple enough. A program succeeds if the whole group of projects delivers bigger, collective benefits. But a portfolio? Its success is measured by whether or not the entire organization is achieving its strategic vision. See how the focus gets broader and more high level as you go from left to right? So we have the building blocks: projects, programs, portfolios. But let's be real, the world they exist in is changing fast. In this last section, we're going to look at what the modern landscape is like. The ground is constantly shifting, which means new challenges and, honestly, new opportunities for anyone involved in getting things done. I mean, think about it. Today's projects are getting hit from all sides. You've got massive external forces like climate change and political instability messing with supply chains and priorities. Then internally, you've got game-changing tech like AI rewriting the rules of how we work, which demands new, more flexible ways of doing things, like Agile. And because of all this complexity, the job of a project manager is evolving, big time. This quote from our source material absolutely nails it. It's not enough anymore to just be a super organized person who can track a budget and a schedule. A modern project manager has to be a strategist, a leader, and an expert in navigating change itself. So, when you boil it all down, project management isn't just about checklists and deadlines. It's the engine of progress. It's the structured, disciplined way we turn our ideas into reality, how we get from today to a better tomorrow. It's about so much more than just finishing a task. It's about building the future. The only question is, what future are you going to build?